It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Tell them, Canada Dry.
It means it's 2-for-1 night at Bingo Sally's, where Sally always checks out the balls and tells you what the number is. It's time for Dynamite After Dark. Let's hit that ignition and go on a warp drive, baby.
Clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. Need that AFW logo up stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Oh, man. Welcome to this week's edition of Dynamite After Dark. I am, of course, the Chief Shenanigans Officer. Brenda's bitch. Basically, what she tells me to do, I do. I was just mopping the bathroom floor.
Wait, who the hell's Brenda?
Or
that was Helen.
Helen, that's right, Helen.
Who the hell's Brenda?
Anyways, I am the almighty JFB.
And I'm, of course, your Canadian hero. Your gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
This guy over here, he is from the great city of Boston. City of champions, city of guys and teams that come back from the brink of extinction. Talking about a man who's so juicy. He has his own water park. Juicy Justin, how the hell you doing?
I wish. Trust me, I wish. You know how much money I'll be making off my own water park?
Is water park a euphemism for sex?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You know, he's into some pretty cakey stuff, and he calls it a water park.
Guy down below me served this country with valor and honor. Let's talk to EVP Joe. Brother, how you doing?
I am doing outstanding. It is Wednesday night. You know what that means. It's time we talk some wrestling.
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling, Dynamite After Dark, AAW Dynamite takes place in just outside Chicago.
Now, Dippy, before you get started here.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our good friend, Lord Ryan Rich. Halo's up again for him because his sister's in the hospital.
Oh, man, he can't catch a break.
And she's having a stent put in her heart.
Ooh.
And that's how his dad died.
Yeah.
From a heart attack. So he's having a bit of a PTSD moment. But our prayers are with him. Halo's up for him.
Let's get into Dynamite. We really wish that Rich was here because, man, I think he will love this show because we start off the whimper, but with a bang. So we go to our first match. It's it. Will they, can they coexist together? Will Ospreay and Heyman and Page are taking on Takeshita and John Alexander. Canada Dry, you go first.
This was an entertaining match. And I loved the ending to this with all the shenanigans.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay accidentally punches Hangman in the face. And that's what you need to build up this rivalry. Just a shot in the face. Because both these guys are pretty heavily cheered right now.
Yeah.
They're both pretty over. So
yeah, I think it was interesting to add that tension because I think that gives it a better build up going to Double or Nothing. You need that animosity between two guys that don't get together forced into a tag team. I think it was very interesting. I think it worked. I think it really, really worked. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they did a very good job of building this tension throughout the whole match.
Yeah.
Even when they weren't, the commentary was doing their job of selling it, talking about how they don't want to tag each other and how they're still there, but there's this tension and will they, won't they type deal.
Yeah.
But
just want to quickly shout out Matt here. Hail's up to you. I'm sorry that you broke your leg there. So, shout out to you. Hail's up.
Yeah, Halo's up, my friend. Let's go to
hold on. I just want to say the ending to that match was ridiculous. A buckshot and a freaking Osprey's elbow, and they timed that perfectly. Like they hit at the same time. Yeah, there was no doubt.
Yeah, they took his headgear off. They took Josh Alexander's headgear off, clean off.
That's how you sell it.
Oh yeah, you do. Justin, your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, this was a great way to open up the show. I'm really surprised we didn't get like segments after segments like we did last week. So, yeah, very very good match, and this is like you guys said, a great way to build up a rivalry towards Heyman and Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Okay, I want to try out a new little segment on the show here. So after every time you review something, you're gonna say Halo's up or Halo's down. The Halo's up if you like it, Halo's down if you didn't.
Okay. I'm gonna go Halo's up. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it really encapsulated the bitterness and animosity between Ospreay and Heyman Page.
And I think that's Halo's up for me. What about you, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. Halo's up.
Justin?
Yep, I'm not going down. I'm going up.
All right. We get a main event hype video for tonight, the steel cage match between Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley. Go to Alicia Tout. She's with Top Flight. Top Flight talks about the Hurt Syndicate, then starts focusing on FTR. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara show up for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe they're just hanging around, but nonetheless, Dustin Rhodes looks like he's ready to fight. Sammy Guevara looks like he's getting ready to go to a bar mitzvah. It didn't make sense. But nonetheless, we go to our second match. It's Ricochet taking on Zach Gowen. For those who don't know, Zach Gowen battled cancer, had to lose a leg, is very inspirational as a professional wrestler. He walks and talks on the inspirational circuit. And the question I had was, would you not carry a backup prosthetic leg? That Ricochet has yours, so you don't have a backup?
Well, they're kind of expensive.
I'll say they're expensive, and insurance ain't trying to pay for a backup.
Yeah, and healthcare in the United States. This isn't Canada. You don't get a backup. That's a Halo's down.
Halo's down. Kendra, your thoughts on this match?
So I really enjoyed it. Like, Zach Gowen is a rare talent, and I'm enjoying seeing him again. I think it was beautiful. Just Ricochet just being the dick that he is, starts beating him down. And then you got Chicken coming in for the save. So this is a big Halo's up for me.
Yeah, Halo's up for me as well. Joe.
Okay, first I want to show you this meme that Fightful made. But this match was like 10 times better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I think my favorite thing is Ricochet trying to apply a figure four to Zach Gowen with only one leg. It was great. Ricochet made Zach Gowen look phenomenal for someone who, I know he wrestles on the indies, but to go on national TV for the first time in what, like 12 years, 13
Yeah.
years. Thought it was a great match.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Juicy Justin?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I-
Halo's up, by the way. My bad. Sorry to cut you off, Justin.
No, you're good. Yeah, great. All I will say is great match. And yeah, this was definitely funny with Ricochet, and definitely Halo's up for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Oops, hold on. Let's go on to Renee. She's in the back with MJF. They start asking back and forth. She asks a question, which he says, "Hey, you get a good question every now and then." Then the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and MVP tells MJF, "After our match, you should come to the ring," which is kind of foreboding. But it leads into our third match. It's going to be the Hurt Syndicate. They're going to be taking on Top Flight. After the match ends and Bobby Lashley still has the guy in the Hurt Lock, outside comes Rhodes and Guevara talking about how they should pick people on their own sides. And then for some reason, the Crew. So that's where I want to stop. Then we'll talk about the little segment afterwards. So Canada Dry, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, it was decent. The shenanigans after, I thought I'm gonna go Halo's down on this this segment. It was kind of saved after with MJF,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to go Halo's down on this one.
Okay. Joe.
So the match was what it was. It was just a means to an end.
Yeah.
Just to get to the post. I can't be mad at this though. Like Guevara and Rhodes are the ROH tag team. They're tag team champions.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they would want to add another set of tag titles to their waist. So I mean, and then the Crew. I just find it funny that
It was weird placement though.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
In between MJF and all that, like it kind of stole from MJF and them.
I don't think so, but we'll talk about that afterwards. I just find it funny that Dustin Rhodes is like, pick on someone your own size, and out comes two scrawny people in the Crew.
Yeah. Justin, your thoughts, my friend?
Is that a Halo's up or Halo's down there, Joe?
Neither. Like, it's not an up, but like I said, it's not necessarily a down. It's just like a Halo's in purgatory, maybe.
Okay, what's the same purgatory? Purgatory.
All right, Justin, lay it on us, brother.
Okay. So this I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I loved the first beginning of it, but then I did not like the ending of it before we got to MJF.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going Halos and Purgatory too with Joe. I can't decide.
We're not saying purgatory. No Halos in purgatory.
Okay, then in Purgatory.
It's too weird.
I'm still learning to that. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm making up the rules as I
Chris
go.
is still learning when I just made it up. I mean,
Yeah. We're making
I'm
up
going to
the
say no Halo.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say. Well,
So you're
no,
Purgatory
go ahead,
too.
Yeah. I say no Halos. Halos in purgatory. I mean, the match what it was, but the reality is that afterwards MJF comes to the ring, MVP thumbs up, Shelton Benjamin thumbs up. Bobby Lashley wraps him around his shoulders and gives him a thumbs up. So it is, after all this time, not official, but official, that MJF joins the Hurt Locker. I thought it's very interesting because they talk about the contract signing being next week. And I have a feeling it's going to lead to the Pinnacle coming back, or MJF costing them a match at Double or Nothing and creating that with the Pinnacle as well. What are your thoughts, Canada Dry?
I thought we already went. Or is this something different?
No, this is MJF.
We're talking about just the MJF segment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought we were kind of went over that before.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. He said we were going to do it separately.
Oh, okay. That's where the confusion is. All right. So yeah, like I adored the MJF segment, like the anticipation, and then having Shelton right behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big old halos up for me. Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe.
So, yeah, this is absolutely getting a halos up. But can we first talk about the big shitting ass grin that Tony Khan had when he was pointing where MJF was?
That was good. That was good.
That was great. But
That's how you do a cameo.
I love this whole segment. Like, MJF knows how to sell the emotions of a moment. Like, the scared but excited. Like, it was great. Now, what's going to be even better is next week when MJF pulls out this contract and he's going to say, why does it say Cedric Alexander? And he gets just absolutely destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate next week.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
Early prediction.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some sort of hiccup that stops the MJF from signing.
Yeah. The fact that Mark Sterling is MJF's lawyer is kind of weird.
He used to be his manager, you know.
Yeah.
Is he CCW or CZW, whatever you're called?
Well, not just that, it also goes back to the Devil. The Devil man, when he first debuted as the Devil, Mark Sterling was the person who got all of his people together.
I thought that was Hathaway.
I think it was Mark Sterling as well. Maybe
I think it was Mark Sterling. Justin.
Yeah, big time hails up. This one I'm not giving him purgatory to. Yeah, I was so wrong on this. I thought Cedric Alexander was going to show up this week, but maybe he shows up next week. Maybe he shows up at Double or Nothing. I don't know, but sooner or later he has to show up. And did anybody notice that Bobby Lashley was hesitant to give his thumbs up to MJF?
I think that was just part of the to
Justin,
build the
who are you talking on the phone to?
My friend, but I'm multitasking.
Can tell him to turn on the show. Well, tell him to get on the YouTube and make some comments.
Yeah.
Tell him not to be such a deadbeat.
Yeah.
But no, that's definitely halos up to me.
So we go to our fourth match of the night. It's a contenders match again, which I don't know why we need one, but we got one because it's Timeless Tony Storm, Mia Shirakawa, Sky Blue, and Azumi, who just recently beat Mercedes Moné for the New Japan Pro Women's Strong title. Canada Dry, you go first.
I had a hard time concentrating on this one. I wasn't a big fan of it. Good wrestling, but whenever there's women or wrestlers I don't know,
Yeah.
It just kind of takes me out of the match.
It's understandable.
So that's I'm gonna give this it wasn't horrible. I'm gonna put this one in purgatory.
Okay. Joe.
Okay, so my only complaint about this, and this is with every kind of like four-way, is if you don't have all of the action in the ring, it's very hard to keep up with. That's my only complaint. But other than that, love the match. Did any of you, because I said this in my faction group chat, freaking Sky Blue looks like Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Okay, let's make sure it wasn't just me.
No.
But I'm at least this time. There's an actual reason to have the champion in this 4-way in an eliminator match. She got pinned.
Yeah.
Which, little fun fact, she was 12-0 in eliminator matches before tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely down to see Mina Shirakawa and Timeless Tony Storm in a 1-on-1 match. I think it's going to be phenomenal. So this gets Halo's up from me.
Yeah. And we get it at Double or Nothing. It's official. Yeah. Tony Storm will fight Shirakawa for the Women's Championship belt at Double or Nothing.
Maybe this leads to Mariah May coming back.
Yeah. Juicy Justin, your turn.
I'm giving this in purgatory as well. Look, don't get me wrong. I loved seeing Sky Blue back, and I loved the fact that Tony Storm finally lost. But I'm with Canada Dry here. It was hard for me to keep an eye on this, especially with the Celtics playing in a do-or-die situation. So,
yeah. I mean, I get it. At some point, you have to get a contender. It would have been a travesty to have Double or Nothing without Timeless Tony Storm defending her belt. Shirakawa, I think, brings an unusual concept to this match because they do have a past while they both wrestled in Stardom. So there is a history between these two women. The fact
you know what I would have done, JFB?
What's that?
To get the Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
I would have done a women's battle royal.
Yeah.
And the winner gets Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Tony Storm needed to be in this match.
Yeah. I don't think she needed to lose clean either.
It shouldn't have been a battle royal. It should have been the that gauntlet or that match that they do. I forget what they call it.
Casino
Royal, whatever.
But yeah, I don't mind about that or the battle royal, something like that. Something where a lot of women get to participate.
Yeah. I've been on record before. I hate that. Oh, Mina Shirakawa pinned the champion. Now she gets a chance to pin the champion again. Well, she just did it once. Where's the anticipation of her winning the title?
Absolutely.
Also, can we talk about how they changed Mina Shirakawa's entrance theme?
Yeah.
On the fly, Tony Khan went on Twitter. Someone asked him, he's like, "Yeah, I don't like the new one, so we're changing back to the old one right now."
Yeah.
Which I do because I like her old theme. It's so much better.
Yeah. Way better, a little bit.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, it's better fitting for her and her character. We go to Renee with MJF.
JP, what did you give this? Did you give this a Halos up or a Halos down, Purgatory? James?
I'm gonna go Halos up. I actually enjoyed it. I think you needed a logical response to not having the women's championship being defended on Double or Nothing. I think hurts the legitimacy of what that belt is and the person who wears it. You know, I think it does a disservice to Tony Storm if you don't have anybody for Double or Nothing. So I'm glad. I thought the match was pretty decent, so we're gonna give it a Halos up. We're gonna Renee with MJF and MVP. That's when we're introduced to Mark Sterling Esquire, who decides he's going to read over the championship, which offended MVP a little bit. That, you know, this is a contract. You got the thumbs up. You're allowed to be part of the Hurt Syndicate. And to be honest with you, like, Mark Sterling, I don't know. It made the segment not work for me. I'm not a fan of Mark Sterling. I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, the man banned me from when I was on Twitter because I would constantly remind him how much you suck as a wrestling manager and as a person in the business. You suck. and he eventually banned me. So it's a badge of courage that I wear. I wear it proudly. Ken and Dry, really quickly, your thoughts on this little segment.
What was the segment again?
Renee with MJF and MVP, and then Mark Sterling talks about reading over the contract.
Oh, right. This is good because all of a sudden MJF is freaking out, and this is the build. Like, I think and then MVP's like, oh, okay, I get it. But it was good.
All right, Joe.
I'm giving this a halos down. This should have been like something that released on Facebook after the show. It didn't need to be here. Like, I missed most of it. I wasn't even paying attention because I didn't even know it was happening. So,
yeah. What about you, Justin?
I enjoyed a little bit of this until Mark Sterling.
Yeah.
So I'm going halos up for MJF and MVP.
No. You only get one.
Okay, fine. Then this whole entire damn segment gets the halos down for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I put it halos up. I thought it was interesting, adding just a little bit of
that's what I think. I think it adds just a little bit of salt and pepper to the storyline.
So before we get to the rest of the show, Ken and Dry, what's in our flower shop?
All right. So we have a new video that we're going to play for the flower shop.
Yeah.
And the flower shop itself is going to be your favorite wrestling documentary.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the flower shop.
Okay. I like it.
How come the video didn't pop up?
No, just gotta save it to downloads.
Okay.
It's all good. All right. Anyway,
I already had it on there.
Oh, do you?
Yes, it's already there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Never mind then. So we go to Tony Schiavone. He's in the ring with Nigel McGuinness. Nigel kind of apologizes for not knowing that his place is in the commentary booth. Now comes Stokely, proceeds to insult Nigel McGuinness. And then FTR shows up because at the beginning when Stokely is coming out, he makes everybody aware FTR is not here. And then out comes FTR with the dirty shots against Nigel McGuinness and Danny Garcia, and then proceed to wreak havoc. Ken and Dry, your thoughts?
Which one is this again? I was fading off when you were talking.
Schiavone and Nigel with FTR.
Oh yes, I thought this was spectacular. I loved this whole Nigel coming back.
Yeah,
is so cool when Nigel wrestles. So
yeah.
I'm excited for this. And to get Nigel and Danny Garcia versus FTR at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a Halo Cup. This is a Halo Cup.
Okay. EVP Joe.
Yeah, this segment gets a halos up. I love watching Nigel wrestle.
Yeah.
I still can't shake this feeling that Danny's going to turn on Nigel. I don't know why. I just get this feeling. It makes absolutely zero sense at this point for Danny Garcia to turn, but I just keep getting this feeling.
You know what it probably is? Because we know that Daniel Garcia would be a better heel than a face.
Yeah, I think he would. Right now, he would make a fantastic heel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd make a really tough heel. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see that turn. It would make things interesting. Even him possibly teaming up with FTR or with Stokely Hathaway would be really good because Daniel Garcia is not bad. It's not bad on the mic, but I think Stokely adding to it makes him even better. I think it elevates him in his character.
Did you give us a Halos Up, Joe?
Yeah, I did. I gave it a Halos Up.
Justin, your thoughts?
Yeah, Daniel's gonna turn. There's no way that anyone's thinking that Daniel's gonna stay a face for the rest of this. He's turning. So yeah, I'm giving this a Halos up as well.
All right, really quick. Oh, there's back. I was going to tell a story, but you're back.
All right, let's go to
show notes. I don't have the show notes. Okay.
Let's go to the fifth and final match. It is the main event. It is for the AEW World's Heavyweight Championship, a belt that we have not seen in several months since the Death Riders and their absolutely horrendous storyline decided to appear. But we're going to go through the whole match. The match itself was a really good match. It was brutal. It was violent. It was exactly what it needed to be. However, the steel cage does not have a top. The steel cage allows people to go in and out if so choose. So, eventually, the Death Riders and then Powerhouse Hobbs and Willow surround the ring. Then a guy in a hood slides the briefcase to John Moxley, who uses it on Samoa Joe and retains, as you're now still defending, still current AEW World's Heavyweight Championship. Then the Bucks music plays. Now, originally I thought, hey, why in the world does Nicholas Jackson have a walkie-talkie?
That's what my wife said.
That's what I thought.
Turns out it wasn't. It's the remote control for the cage. Regardless, the Bucks show up. They start teeing off on Samoa Joe. Omega shows up. Okada shows up.
Speedball Mike Bailey shows up.
Speedball Mike Bailey shows up. Then Swerve shows up. So we have a cornucopia of storylines kind of crammed into one match. The unfortunate part is that Samoa Joe is really not an integral part of the storyline. I think Samoa Joe was there to play an important part, and that was to give some legitimacy to himself as a possible down-the-line world champion, but also how badass and tough guy John Moxley is. Canada Dry, you go first.
Well, what are you giving this?
I'm gonna wait until you guys go, and then I'll add mine.
All right. I love this match. You legitimized you Samoa Joe, and he just looks like such a badass.
Yeah.
Like beating the shit out of Mox. Blood is everywhere. And the only way you're going to win is with that briefcase with the world title in it that Gabe Kidd puts in.
Yeah.
And John Moxley just finds a way to squeak one out.
Yeah.
And I adored like just the old vibes. Like I think this really revived the Death Rider story.
Yeah.
Adding Gabe Kidd to it and the Young Bucks now, like this alliance could put some life back into this whole thing.
Absolutely.
And like the star power afterwards, that what Kenny Omega's getting his ass kicked and Swerve is just walking to the ring. And he climbs up and lands on them. Yeah. I think, and then he's the one to challenge them to Anarchy in the Arena. So it's like it really makes Swerve look like a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, the end result is that Swerve calls out for Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing, which is what we're going to get. And we've kind of predicted it from the last few weeks that this was going to be the inevitability. So the possibility of seeing Willow and Marina Shafir is great. That they're going to be part of this, and I think that's going to add a very different dimension to that match for the pay-per-view. So, Joe, you go.
And I'm giving this a Halos up, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, obviously, this is a Halos up. I love the match. I love cage matches in particular, especially when the guys use the cage like it's supposed to be used. And they don't – there's only one attempt to escape. Usually – in other things, they're all racing up in the cage. I don't like that. Cages are meant to keep people in and the other people who aren't supposed to be in to be out. My only gripe is that it's always been known that people who watch AEW watch New Japan. They watch a lot of other stuff. And I don't know if you know, but like a week ago at NJPW Resurgence, we had the Bucks and the Good Brothers versus the War Dogs, who leader is Gabe Kidd. And they had a match. And afterwards, they went to shake hands, and Gabe Kidd just walked out of the ring and didn't shake their hands. So they have a lot of work to do, a lot of storytelling in 10 days to explain to me why Gabe Kidd is in this match when he doesn't even need to be in this match because it's 5-on-5. It's Marina, it's Mox, it's the Bucks, and you could have thrown Claudio in. You didn't need to bring Gabe Kidd into this, so they better have a damn.
I don't know if they're going to use Willow and Marina.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Swerve said, "You have your guys and your lady. We have our guys and our lady."
Yeah, that's cool to have the women in this match.
To integrate the women, I think it's great. Especially, I think this is the best way to use Marina, not in a traditional wrestling match, just in a brawling type match and just go.
And this is also really good for Willow because she just lost to Statlander.
Yep, but now she's being pulled into the main event.
Back strong, yeah.
And then Swerve, good. Like, look, Kenny was great. Okada is great. But Swerve stole this whole segment. This man just walks out cool as a cucumber, climbs up the corner, does his Swerve stomp, and just stands up slowly like a superhero, like when you just see. And I love the camera work because they flipped to Nick Jackson, who's hurriedly hitting a button to get the freaking cage to go up because he wants nothing to do with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of whatever damage you think has been done to Swerve in these last couple weeks with the Bucks, which I don't think any is done. It was all, if there was, if you think it was all repaired tonight. Because Swerve just looked like $1 million.
Yeah. What about you, Justin?
Look, I agree. Gabe Kidd, I happy to see him. Very glad to see him. Like Joe said, they got 10 days to explain to us why he's even involved in this. Like it's supposed to be Claudio, but nonetheless, this match was great. It did everything that it was supposed to. And we did kind of mention that Moxley was not going to drop it on national television in a sorry if you're a Chicago fan, in a low city of Chicago.
Whoa.
I mean,
Justin shooting.
Not just that. It's literally 10 days before a pay-per-view. He ain't dropping a title on a Dynamite before a pay-per-view.
No. He's going to let Justin talk Chicago like that?
I don't care. It's Chicago.
We got swept by Detroit. Let me have this one by saying low city of Chicago.
Yeah.
This isn't the 90s with Michael Jordan, okay?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's the only time they've been high.
Listen, they got multiple Stanley Cup rings.
Look, their only claim to fame right now is they have the Pope, okay? That's it.
That's pretty good.
I will say this.
They also had last year's worst baseball record.
Yeah.
A record.
I will say this, however.
And now the Rockies are
Is that the White Sox?
Yeah.
But they have a really nice jersey.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see how well it looks.
But I will say this, getting back to the ending of this. We knew Anarchy in the Arena was coming.
Yeah.
We just had to figure out when they were going to announce it. Well, I didn't have Swerve Strickland announcing Anarchy in the Arena on my bingo card match.
Really?
No, I didn't. I thought it would have been Shit, I don't know. I don't know who would have been, but I didn't have
Exactly.
Swerve
The fact that
Strickland.
you can't name anyone else is exactly why Swerve is in it.
It's Swerve was feuding with the Bucks, so I don't know why he wouldn't. He's listening to that guy on the phone. That's why. That guy's telling him what to say. That's what's going on here. Okay, there's a segment here. Help me out, buddy.
And my final thing to say, this whole entire thing gets halos up from me. That there was not one bad thing I didn't like about this.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, here's the deal. You wonder why it seems like it's just a cavalcade of wrestlers. And it's twofold. And one of them was the setup for Anarchy of the UK. And the other one, I think, is to start setting up future storylines. I think this is something that WWE sorely misses, is having a lineup ready and willing to jump into main event status. Swerve, Samoa Joe. I mean, it sets up multiple storylines for potential contenders against Jon Moxley, because I think right now you need to get the belt off Mox. I think getting the belt off of Mox as quick as possible is best for business.
Well, it's the second half to All In.
Yeah.
And the reality is that, adding Gabe Kidd adds a certain, it adds a sense of uniqueness, because like you guys have said, not a lot of people outside of pure wrestling fans really know who Gabe Kidd is and what Gabe Kidd is willing to do. And Gabe Kidd wrestles very much like Jon Moxley. Gabe Kidd very much fits into the Death Riders. I think it's a perfect selection and a perfect fit, because it allows him to start gaining the momentum he needs. He's a star in New Japan. There's no doubt about it. The people in New Japan love him.
New Japan should be worried that he's on AEW.
The reality is,
it's just a built Forbidden Door, right? Right.
But exposing Gabe Kidd to the United States wrestling base, I think is huge, because I think that kid's got talent. He's got a huge upside that you don't get with, Shoto Immuno, who Jon Moxley's been pushing to bring over. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it adds depth to the Death Riders storyline, which it desperately needs. But in reality, you have to get the belt off of that. And as much as I love Ospreay, I think it's Hangman Page who's the one who has to do it. Nothing against Ospreay, but
it's going to be Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay's wrestling style.
I think this is going to be interesting when we do the pre-show.
Yeah.
For All In.
I can tell you why it's Ospreay. Because the next month they're going to the O2, and Will Ospreay is going to headline the O2 as the AEW World Champion.
Yeah. I prefer Hangman, but yeah, you're right. It's going to be.
I think Hangman's going to get it back. Like I'm on record. Hangman is the main character of AEW.
Yeah.
I think Hangman is. That's what he's calling himself. I don't think he's the main star.
Yeah.
I didn't say star. I said character. There's a difference.
Well, that's what he's calling himself. This is kayfabe.
Well, he is. Everything revolves around Hangman. Whether you like it or not, that makes him the main character.
Yeah. Hangman's got a unique position because Hangman is basically dealing with multiple groups of people. The Bucks, the Death Riders, Will Ospreay.
He's still connected to Swerve?
Yeah. Swerve, the Don Callis family. Like, there's a legitimacy there for Hangman Page to He can go down any lane he wants.
Yeah, he's kind of got his foot in like each little section.
Yeah. But what's great is while these roads are separating and you're going in 4 or 5 different directions, they're all going to merge into one lane. And that's Hangman Page going to be your, at some point, the AEW World's Heavyweight Champion. And you can only hope by crossing as many fingers, toes, and eyes that you possibly can that this will be a better reign than the reign he had before, because that reign was horrible. That was the worst reign in AEW history.
I think that he's evolved so much since then.
Yeah.
He's not the same Hangman he was when he was the world champion.
Yeah, he's not. He's
a better version of
yes,
of Hangman.
absolutely.
He dishes out righteous infliction when it needs to be doled out. He does a very good job doing it, and I think that's what makes him.
Like, do you remember, like, even like last year? Not even last year. Oh yeah, probably about last year. We were talking shit, mostly you, about Hangman's promos.
Yeah. Hangman, I mean, don't get me wrong. Hangman is not a promo guy.
No, but he's on point right now.
He's on point right now. I truly believe that right now your hottest commodity is Hangman Page. It's not Swerve. It's not John Moxley.
I don't think it is. I think he's doing well, but I think Swerve still. Swerve, listen, you got about 5 guys that could take that role right now.
Yeah. Because you have MJF. I mean, you
got MJF, you got Will Ospreay, you got Swerve, you got Hangman, you got Omega. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Honestly,
that's not even Mox, the world champion.
After tonight, you could throw Samoa Joe in there. He could step right in. He's still freaking badass.
Yeah.
I think he's like your 1B guy.
Yeah.
And the other guys are like 1As.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Samoa Joe is your break in case of emergency. If something disaster happens.
It's like,
but he was. Look at freaking Adam Cole and MJF both go down to injury.
Yeah.
In steps Samoa Joe, the consummate professional, carried the company on the back for a couple months, got him through that rough spell.
Yeah. There's one thing.
Legit star.
Yeah. There's one thing I do want to point out before we get to the very end of the show, and that was Taz. They did pay tribute to Sabu tonight, which I thought was very fitting, because I think whether or not Sabu wrestled or appeared in AEW, they would have mentioned it. And Taz has posted on social media.
Yeah, he was pretty choked up.
Yeah, he was very choked up. You know, the fact that he lived to 60 is pretty damn good. He had someone on his side that was kind of helping him along the way.
Did you see it was confirmed what Sabu passed away from?
What?
He had a heart attack.
Yeah. Not a shocker. Not a shock at all. So, but seeing Taz tear up about it and get choked up about it, because when you think of rivalries, not in just ECW, but in professional wrestling, you think of those two. And I think what made that rivalry so good, and we talked about it on Sunday, and I'll bring it up again right now. The big reason why the Sabu Taz match and rivalry happened is because Taz hurt his neck, had neck surgery, was going to be gone for a long time. And instead of sitting on his ass and doing nothing, he shot promos, and these promos were aimed at Sabu, and it was building that tension that was needed. And I think that's what we're doing with Swerve, with Hangman Page, with MJF, with all these guys who are potential contenders to dethroning. You know, like Hangman Page winning the world championship would be great, and it would be amazing. But would the crowd really stand up? Would the AEW guys come out and put him on his shoulder and put him on their shoulders? No. But Will Ospreay winning that crowd pops, because you're ending tyranny at this point in AEW with the Death Riders.
Yeah, I
But-
really think that at all in, you have that chance to really make him your Cody Rhodes, if you will.
Yeah.
If you
And,
weigh in.
and here's the thing, and I'm going to throw it out there because it's been gnawing at my gut, and it's a brainworm that's been in my head for a while. What if John Moxley wins
At All In.
at All In?
No,
What if
please.
Moxley? What if Moxley wins at All In?
You've been listening to the expert too much there, JFB.
Let's really dive into it for a few seconds because
Look, you're not gonna on this panel of 4. I'm the biggest Mox fan.
yeah,
It's time. Honestly, just I want to see the title again. It's a pretty title.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I think that if by withholding the title for so long,
yeah,
having that title come back at All In is so much more of a crown for Will Ospreay to wear.
Yeah.
Because it's hidden. And now it's there for everyone to see. And it makes it a bigger deal.
Yeah.
For that champion.
Not just that. I don't want to go home sad after All In.
I don't think it's gonna happen though. I think you're gonna
I think
I,
you have
I don't think it can. I don't think it's going to happen either. But you have to kind of have that what if scenario.
Oh,
You
and I
know?
think they'll do a very good job of setting that up
Yeah,
going into All In. But it's like All In is too young of an event for you to not have the big babyface victory.
yeah,
Just like if All In was like 10, 12 years old, then maybe, you contemplate having the heel go over.
yeah,
But like even at WrestleMania for the longest time, the babyface has always won
yeah.
to send the crowd home happy. So
Well, guys, that's it. We are at the turn. We're going to cross the finish line. We're talking about the main event. But before we get into everything and talking about our connections, how to find us and stuff like that, we like to enter this little place called the Flower Shop.
Welcome to the Flower Shop, brought to you by ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can pick up all your Adrian Adonis gear, just like this shirt you're looking at right now.
You know, it's
that shirt has not been accepted by Pro Wrestling Tees just yet. But that's a sneak peek.
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I was bored today. I've been dealing with a really bad head cold, and I decided to put on some old school wrestling. Went on Peacock, started watching some of the wrestling, and primarily focused on matches with Adrian Adonis. That guy was agile like a cat. I mean, for a guy that was pretty hefty, he moved around the ring like a ballerina. So, get
Adrian Adonis and a ballerina.
So go ahead and get a shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis. Get yourself some gear. Show this guy some love. This guy was a very, very underrated wrestler.
I'm definitely getting this shirt when it's available.
Yeah, when it's available. And we'll let you know.
Because it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Because to get in touch with us, you have to join us. So as we enter into the end of the show, we like to go ahead and give our flowers out to the best match of the night, favorite segment of the night, number of bells, and our favorite wrestling documentary. Canada Dry, you go first.
So I'm giving my flowers out, and I'm giving them to Samoa Joe and John Moxley in that steel cage and everything that came after it.
Yeah.
That was so good. Segment of the night, it goes to MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. That, everything about those guys, I just love it.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestling documentary is Wrestling with Shadows.
great show.
It's
Great talk.
it really broke the bar of what a wrestling documentary is.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be my favorite wrestler too, so that's pretty cool. I'm giving this episode 4.2.
Okay.
4.25. There we go.
4.25. My God, he added a 0.05 onto that. All right.
Okay.
Go.
My match of the night, only because it absolutely exceeded my expectations, is Ricochet and Zach Gowen.
Yeah.
Thought it was great. It had me laughing. It had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
My segment of the night is the post-main event stuff with Swerve and everyone else. That was phenomenal. I love it. And then documentary. I don't know. You all can tell me if this counts as a documentary. I don't really know if it does. But as a kid, I had this 3 DVD set. It was the whole history of the WWE title. Like they had matches and it showcased all of it.
And they talked in between about blah blah blah.
Yeah, I would say it's either that or the rise and fall of ECW that WWE did, just because it's so interesting, like what ECW could and should have
Which
been.
one you picking?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I'll go with the world. I love the title, the DVD title, because I watched it multiple times. And then I'm giving this show a 3.8.
Okay,
pretty decent show.
Yeah. All right, Juicy Justin, your turn, my friend.
Okay. I actually came prepared for my favorite wrestling thing.
It's like he was a psychic and knew the future.
So favorite match has to be the main event. I loved. I wouldn't say. I pretty much loved everything of it. Favorite segment would have to be the post match of the main event. My bells would be 4.25, and yeah, I did say I came prepared.
There you go, John Cena. I'm surprised you can't see him.
I can't see it.
Well, he turned heel. You can see him now. You're fine.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this would count as a documentary, correct? Because he did talk.
Is the matches all on it?
Or
is it a story?
I think it's a story.
Okay.
Okay. At 7 matches, promos, interviews, and all that. But yeah, he.
Okay, I'll give it a pass.
It's got the interviews, and I think that is inherently part of a documentary. So
yeah. It's my turn. This show didn't do a lot, but it was great. It was a great match. It was a great show. Your matches flowed in and out really quickly. They gave it perfect timing. In all honesty, when they called the show and it went off air, I looked at it. It was like it was only half my notebook. I mean, everything seemed to just kind of flow. It kind of clicked. I think you don't get that on the last few shows. I think the last few shows were a little drawn out. My favorite match is the Ospreay Hangman tag match. I'm going to say why. The Death Riders match didn't really fully propel the story. It just kind of gave you a choose your own adventure. Who's it going to be that's going to take on Jon Moxley? Look at all these people coming after Jon Moxley. I get it. You know, you got to set up storylines and you got to line up your contenders for the inevitability of Jon Moxley losing the title. So, but Ospreay Hangman pushed the storyline further because there is some animosity. And these are the two guys who are going to fight like hell on earth to become the number one contender at All In. Who is going to be the one to dethrone Jon Moxley? And, you know, people are going to say it's Will Ospreay, but I like to throw a little monkey wrench in there and say,
hey,
Hangman
I like differing opinions.
Yeah. I think Hangman Page would be interesting against Jon Moxley.
I
You
think so.
know, at a technical wrestling standpoint, I think it makes a little bit more sense than Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay really doesn't have that other gear to make it a brutal physical match, which is what
But
John.
champion, what's your documentary? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you wait. So, anyways, my favorite segment was MJF. I'm going to give the show four bells. I really enjoyed it, and I think that it's setting it up for that final home stretch as we get closer to Double or Nothing. My favorite documentary. I am a documentary fiend. For those who don't know, I'm a film buff. I love movies. That's why I chose it as a profession. Sometimes I wonder why I even decided to do that, but nonetheless, that's what I decided to do. But documentaries are interesting because documentaries serve one opinion and one story that they want to tell. So, documentaries like Hoop Dreams is an amazing documentary. It's not wrestling related. It's about two kids in the inner city of Chicago trying to get out to make their dreams come true and be in the NBA. It's a beautiful, heart-wrenching documentary. But my favorite wrestling documentary is equally as heartbreaking, and that is Beyond the Mat.
Oh,
You get to see a lot of up-and-coming guys. You get the funniness of Terry Funk and Dennis, what's his face, who says, if I'm not booked, I'm not going to show up. But what was really sad was you got to see Jake Roberts probably at his very lowest. The guy was obviously riddled with alcoholism and was on a lot of drugs. The man knew Kane. You got to meet his father, Grizzly Smith, who was not the most charming, nicest guy in the world. In fact, there's a lot of people who celebrated when that man passed. He was a well-known asshole in the industry.
I think if we're going to mention your documentary, we have to mention the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts.
We do, yes, because
that documentary is the happy ending that we need.
Yeah.
Well,
But Beyond the Mat was different because it was not a guy who was a professional wrestling fan, but wanted to show the reality of professional wrestling. And there are quite a few. The Road Diaries with Cole Cabana is one of them, where you get that inside and the humanization of these superstars. We chant and we scream about Will Ospreay, and we talk about how much we love Will Ospreay. But we don't know Will Ospreay. We don't know Will Ospreay outside the ring, the father, the husband, and that's what Beyond the Mat does, is it humanizes these once immortals like Jake the Snake Roberts. So that's what I picked as my documentary. Joe, what's our cumulative score?
4.075. And I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers out to Jake Roberts. He went through heart surgery today. He came through. He's doing great, but just want to send positive vibes his way.
Yeah. He's a I met him once at a signing at an indie show, and the stories that man has to tell, I really wish he would put into a book. I really do, because his stories are interesting. They deal with a lot of harsh realities of being a professional wrestler when you're on the road 300 plus days out of the year, wrestling for WWE, AEW, independence, and all that stuff. So,
all I gotta say about Jake Roberts,
is
thank God for Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah, absolutely. DDP has saved a lot of people's lives, not just wrestlers, athletes, but guys like us. Yeah. That's his purpose. That's his focus. A lot of wrestlers fade into obscurity, show up at fan conventions and shit like that. But Diamond Dallas Page found his calling. and
Yeah.
it really wasn't wrestling. It was helping people,
Yeah.
and that makes you a much better person than a lot of other people out there, is making people's lives better. So we're at the end of the show.
On that note,
Yeah, we're on the end of the show, which means you got to find a way to get in touch with us. AFW Network, it's more than just a bunch of guys who do podcasts, create T-shirts, and other fun shenanigans like that. We're a community that is based on lifting each other up, positivity. We're like
15K strong on Facebook.
yeah, we're like the New Day of professional wrestling podcasts, and
Not this current New Day.
yeah, not the current New Day. No. The old day when it was about fun and lifting up spirits and stuff like
When
that.
they had bootios and unicorns
Yeah.
and all that good stuff.
I picture EVP Joe doing the Budio dance.
Yeah. Tiffany lost her grandfather recently. So shout out to Tiffany. Our hearts go out to you, especially me. I know what loss is like. I deal with it every single day. But join our communities. How do you get there? You flip open the keyboard, you get out your phone, you get out your iPad, your Apple Watch, whatever's connected to the internet. You could have a Palm Pilot for all I know. But you got to clickety-clack on the buttons. Do. And then that leads you all the way to the links. And the links below send you directly to us. You enter our layer, a layer of happiness and donuts. All you got to do is just click on those. It sends you to our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. While you're at the YouTube channel and you're scanning through all the cool stuff we do, like, subscribe, hit the damn bell so you can go ahead and get alerted when we're live. Other than that, if you want a T-shirt, like the one Canada Dry's got, the effing Bullet T-shirt, all you got to do is go to one place and one place only. Temu, no. Amazon, no. Some off-site site, no. ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling, where you can get all of your effing wrestling gear. And trust me, you want that gear because you want to look sharp and cool when you go to the concerts or to the mall and listen to cassette tapes of Sam Goody. You got to look cool. Anyways, on behalf of Canada Dry, EVP Joe, and Josie Justin, I am the JFE.
If you're struggling right now, we have a situation where things are not working out for you. I just want to know that I'm saying a prayer for you right now. And I feel for you, and we all feel for you. And even though it's okay you're down, it's not okay to stay that way. And you have to fight out of it. You have to fight out of it with everything you have. And sometimes that involves reaching out to a friend, reaching out to your neighbor, reaching out to your brother, reaching out to the church community, and they'll help pick you up, dust you off, and put one foot in front of the other. Raise your fist in the air, put the devil in a sharpshooter, and just keep fighting. That Canada Dry, he sure sounded sexy when he was telling me to keep fighting.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All Fan Wrestling Network.
Canada Dry.
That's the wrong one.